Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Founders Hall, George Mason University's Arlington campus. My name is Richard Kamenitzer, and I am the Program Director of the Arts Management Program here at the university. So the Arts Management Program actually runs this as part of a laboratory for our graduate students so that we can have exhibitions here, but the exhibitions need to touch this community. This campus is very much a part of the citizenry of Arlington County. And so we want to identify with art, which basically is the expression of the imagination through the use of senses. We want to take that expression and make it relevant for our community. So I want to take the opportunity now to introduce Lloyd, who in turn will introduce the artists who are here and tell you a little bit more about this very important documentary project. Lloyd?
Can I get the other photographers who are here up here? I'm going to try not to talk too long though, that's probably a lie. Thank you all for coming. It's very important to us. As this is a piece about community, though as artists we're always working inside our own heads. I have a long list of thank yous and they're all important and real, so I'm going to try to do it. First, thank you for Richard for not throwing me out when I showed up. Some crazy guy said I want to show. I also want to acknowledge Mary Hines from the county board who's here. And I want to thank Matilda for putting up with me being cranky several times and really working hard with a lot. Excuse me. To put up a show like this is a lot of detail work, and Matilda was right on top of it. And I really appreciate them. Paula Endo and her husband Todd Endo and I kind of came up with this idea, which grew out of earlier projects that were done along the pike and in the county. Mimi and Dewey were part of a program that Paula had taught to afternoon photo program, and a book came out of there called Portraits of the Pike. After that program began to wane, we thought we would continue to work on it. Paul and I had done a documentary of the whole county in 1979-80, which in my head still feels current, but I know it's not. And we wanted to continue. We knew the Pike well. We were particularly fascinated by the tremendous diversity along the Pike. At one time, Columbia Pike was the most ethnically diverse zip code in the United States, possibly the world. And a personal reason for me doing it is I spent a lot of time in Jerusalem, where, and my next book is on Jerusalem, where two main communities that are actually quite similar do not get along real well. And and I'm being very soft about it. I mean, I've seen the bodies in the street. It's real. Ethnic hatred kills people.
One of our projects, which we started in 95, 96. Anyway, yeah, what Lloyd said was so true. We met in I think it was a Thai restaurant, right? And it was in Bailey's Crossroads. It wasn't in Arlington, just across the line, but we just were enjoying the food, but also enjoying the fact that you could eat in a Thai restaurant that's very local. And, you know, people who work there, quite possibly they live there. Anyway, so, and in our teen program, we had, I don't know how, I think it counted like, it was over 15 different ethnic groups and ages and everything just in our program. And that was nothing compared to what there was in the schools that fed our program. So it really is a rich resource for all of us, not just for, well, we all can learn from all the different cultures. And so we became very close across cultures, religions, ages, and ethnicities, all of that. Whether you were a citizen, like Dewey was born here, or Mimi immigrated, and you know, you were just like family. And that was the neat thing about it.
She started this program, and I didn't really have, I didn't do anything before Paula's project. I was just bounded to being at home. And then one day I just sort of stumbled into this community center, and they just asked me to join the group, and it gave me an excuse to go out and meet different people and be involved in the community. And it's become my career now, doing photography. And so this project here is kind of an extension of what we were doing with Paula's kids. And it was a great idea to get kids to do it because I think if adults did it, it might be kind of creepy, you know, getting into people's faces and the business. But like if kids do it, you know, we're innocent and we can capture a lot of cool stuff. You know, and now I have a career doing this, and it's been a very strong foundation for the next step, which is I'm getting into filmmaking. But you know, this is the way I think I could give back to my community by just, you know, being part of this project.
My name is Mimi, and I wanted to thank you, everybody that is involved in the projects and to make the project possible. I think for me, when I started it, it almost like documenting my neighborhood where I grew up. Later on the projects, when I start putting or printing or do video and put it all together, I realized that I'm documenting a sense of myself so that I can leave it behind for my family, my daughter, because she would grow up to these places that is no longer look like this anymore. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity to be able to use what I love to document something that will always be a piece of solid, something that my daughter can look back, or I myself can look back to this wonderful place that I grew up.
I also want to, the way this work, it's important to us that the work isn't just sit in a box. Most of the work, we're hoping, it will end up in the county's historical archives at the Virginia Room in the library. I've just recently donated a huge amount of work to the Jewish Historical Society of Washington, totally different. It's very interesting to transfer work via a cable. It used to be you handed boxes to people, now you go with a hard drive. But it's an enormous amount. I think it'll be a major piece for them. We also are hoping to have the work available in the communities, the new community center it's rebuilt. To me, the way we've done this is like we're trying to be part of like the blood and sinews and the muscles of the county. It's like it's all integrated, the Columbia Pike. For those of you who are not from Arlington, one of Paula's and my students in the 70s used to call South Arlington, south of Route 50, LA for Lower Arlington. Call it LA. And it's different down there. And you'll hear tonight about some of the discussions with the changes coming on the Pike. I have personally very strong opinions. I'm not a politician. But you know, the county does value diversity, and there are a lot of challenges to trying to keep it here.
Thank you to the artists that are here. There's just a couple more thank yous that always it's appropriate to recognize the people that allow these things to happen. Lori Cohen-Scherer, who's the head of University Life here at this campus, has been a great supporter and has been the sponsor of our events. And for this exhibit, the University Life is the co-sponsor along with First Virginia Community Bank, and several of their representatives are here. Bruce Yorlin is here, Bruce, and Todd Dempsey is here. Is Brittany Bauer here? No, she's not here. Okay, well, thank you very much to First Virginia Community Bank for that support. And we are also blessed this afternoon with music from the School of Music. Christian is here. So at this point, please enjoy the exhibition. The artists are here. Ask away as you gaze upon these wonderful giclée prints and understand perhaps better the processing that's here. But we thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.